Why did Camilla have to be coaxed out of bed on her wedding day? Not personally knowing Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, I have to rely on reports from royal correspondents Katie Nicholl and Camilla Tominey. Both have been reported as saying Camilla was terrified on her wedding day, not because she was nervous about marrying her true love, Prince Charles, but because she believed the British public still detested her. Camilla's entry to the royal family was no smooth transition. She was always labelled as the other woman and was the lady of whom Diana was talking about in that "There was three of us in this marriage" interview with Martin Bashir. Prince Charles was never going to give up on this relationship, and he hired a PR team to help him introduce Camilla to the world. I was never her biggest fan, but she has proved herself to be a steadfast, reliable and hardworking member of the royal family, and she deserves credit purely for the fact she kept her head down, her expectations low, and she worked bloody hard. I think she looked particularly radiant on her wedding day considering she was an older bride. Charles looked positively pleased as Punch, and the true love between them both was emanating for all to see. Camilla has continued to soften the hearts of even the die-hard Diana fans. This can only be attributed to her willingness to fit into the family and to uphold royal customs and traditions whilst keeping a relatively low profile except for public engagements. I think Meghan could benefit from taking advice from Camilla, or at least hire the same PR team. Just look what they did for Camilla, who at one point was probably the most hated woman in Britain. Camilla had a very bad case of sinusitis on her wedding day to Prince Charles, and the only thing that got her out of bed was her sister saying she would put on Camilla's dress and go to the wedding. That was enough to get a very ill Camilla to the wedding on time. If you've ever had sinusitis, then you know how awful your head feels. Headaches, bordering on a migraine, with your head feeling 5 times larger than ever, and not being able to breathe. Plus that infection is enough to keep most people in bed for days. When I look at their wedding photos, I honestly think Camilla covered it up quite well. She and her prince look so very happy. At that time she was possibly the most hated woman in Britain, as she was widely blamed for the failure of her husband's first marriage. It was well known that his first wife was a serial adulterer, to the extent that the paternity of her younger son is in doubt. Nonetheless, the previous Princess of Wales was and still is hugely popular and had a way of manipulating the press to make her look like an innocent victim. Camilla was vilified so much that she still doesn't use her most senior rank so as not to upset the legions of Diana fans. I do hope that when the time comes she will be known as Queen Consort.